Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming's Fear the Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 5, Fan Reactions Live. So, we were talking a little bit earlier, the difference between a backstory and a filler episode. This had a little bit of both. I'm giving you my complete, unfiltered, raw reactions to this. I know we're going to get some people that loved it, some people that wanted a little bit more. Anytime you tell a little bit of a backstory, it's hard to do because it does deviate a little bit from the what you're kind of up into at that point. You're ready to see what's going to happen next. But I thought this was, well, I'm going to use the word necessary, but I'm not sure yet. If they're going to develop John for the long term or Laura for the long term, I do think it's important that that we get a little bit of the history. If they're going to kill him off by the end of the season, then no. Then I think it's too early to tell. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to get your responses, your reactions. I'm not going to do the kind of scene by scene. We'll do that tomorrow night. We're really going to break this down. I'm going to ask the question, though. We do this every week for the group. There's two things that I'm going to ask. One, what was your most shocking moment in tonight's episode? What kind of surprised you the most? Could be something minor. Could be a callback. Could be something that you noticed as an Easter egg. But let me know right now what you think is the, I guess, the biggest moment from tonight's episode. Oathkeeper says, great episode, incredible writing. Cammy says, John using his guns. Lost my child. Would be an interesting dynamic if Charlie was Laura's child, for sure. Lonnie says Naomi leaving after the love confession. Yeah, love you message. I have to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and give you my most shocking moment. I do think the lost child is, she said she lost her child. She didn't say her child died. I guess it's a play on words. But for me, the most shocking moment was, I think every episode so far this season, there's been some sort of tribute that's been paid to The Walking Dead. The bridge scene, no doubt about it. The scene where the walkers were walking off in The Walking Dead with Dwight wrecking the motorcycle, all those bodies piled up. This reminded me of a water version of the same thing. And there were several little things that really came out that I think that they're paying... they're doing it, and you know what? They're doing what is popular. I love the wide angle shots. I love the moat. They're going in places and answering a lot of the little questions. I also liked what I thought was a callback to The Walking Dead was when she said, "I've seen people just get this stuff on them and get sick," and we know that happened with Father G, but they're using this platform to really tell some of the stories in The Walking Dead and do some of the callbacks. Yeah, AJ, it's a little confusing, right? She told Madison she didn't have a child. There's more to the story. They're very deliberate in how they're telling the story, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I do want to take the pulse of the group here and see what your rating is. We do this every week, and then I will unveil my rating for this week's episode. So from a 1 to a 10, let me have it right now. Let's see where you guys rated tonight's episode. 1 to a 10. E-Beach with a 10. Pete D still holding on strong with an 8. Matt Howard, 8.75. Dave, 8.5. Cammy, 9. Beth, 10 out of 10. Mambo, 55.7. So still really high scores. We're 5 episodes in, so it tells me that we're in for the long haul. I'll give you 2 scores. Whoa, hold on. Emmy, only a 9? Kale with a 9. I liked it. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 scores. And a few more people, if you guys can type your rating for tonight's episode. If John and Naomi become central figures on the show, and by that I mean if one or the other, and it appears it'd be John, maybe Laura's alive, maybe she's not. But if this story was necessary to let us know who John was, I mean, if you guys missed the countdown earlier today, we did talk about John being a police officer and possibly that was pretty predictable, I guess. I don't think anybody was shocked when we started seeing that. It wasn't a spoiler. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to go along that storyline. Naomi was a little bit of the wild card. So, yes, we did confirm she is a nurse. I know there could have been some thoughts out there that maybe she was had a little shady past. But why leave with the confession of love and getting a little bit more comfortable? I'm going to get a few of the comments because it seems like it is played out a little bit. See, Pete, I would agree with that. If she has an agenda and she just can't be tied down, she can't be bogged down. Oh, this is great. Ultra Groove, this is classic, and I do agree with that. John Dorie, Forrest Eastwood Gump, and Laura was Jenny. Great episode. Very well said. That is one of my favorite super chats ever. I may not be a smart man, but I know how to shoot a gun. So, yeah, there you go. Forrest Gump impression. All right, I have to tell you, though. The cop who can't use his gun anymore, he's going to put his guns down, he's not going to kill. It's been done a lot. I like you a lot. No. That part, I think, is a little overplayed in the writing. I'm not giving them credit for that. And also, I love you, but I can't stick around. We got to stop with that, too. Let me ask this to the group. Male and female, doesn't matter. You're Naomi. You're Laura. And you got this dude who's a pretty good dude, right? He takes care of you. Very handy, can fish. Pretty good team. Are you leaving him? Finally have some feelings for him. I mean, we're not talking about leaving and, going back to your studio apartment. We're talking about leaving and going out in the middle of nothing. And he has a great hat. I get a feeling we're going to get a whole lot of heck no's. So I'm going to focus in on E. Beach's comment here in a second, Eric. This is the part that I it's overdone. And I'll tell you what I would do if I'm Laura. Or, you know what? Because I don't want to appear, to be sexist. So let's say it's vice versa. And Laura is the fisher and she has the own place. And John's the person looking for something. Either way, you can put yourself in that scenario. What I'm going to do, I'm going to whip them up some grits. And I'm going to tell them my problems. And I'm going to say, hey, wouldn't mind helping me out with this, would you? That's what I'm going to do. Because, being a lone wolf is probably not the best thing. Maybe being in big groups might not always be the best thing either. But a few of you, that's the way to go. A few of you can be successful. Or a couple of you. A few of you can watch each other's back. A few of you can let you get a good night's sleep while another person stays up. Especially if it's somebody you can grow to trust and you don't have to worry about them stabbing you in the back. So instead of picking up and going out looking for her daughter, if that's what she's doing, or Morgan does it and now Laura does it. So I'm not going to talk you out of this episode. Like these reaction videos. I'm glad we got some people scoring high. I'm going to say if 6 episodes from now, John is a gunslinger, he's a little bit better, I'm going to give this episode a solid 8. If not, I'm giving it a 6. A 6 and an 8. Doesn't mean I'm turning on fear. Don't worry. I like the show. I think it's got a great main plot going. But I'm talking this specific episode with the Laura and the backstory might not be necessary. If John doesn't become a major player on this show for years to come, I'm giving it a 6. Because I think the cop scene, not necessary. And I think Laura leaving, not necessary either. That was another callback too, right? Is John shot a guy in the leg and Jared shot a guy in the leg, Benjamin? So at least 3. The shooting in the leg was 1. The her mentioning the walker guts can make people sick, number 2. And the walkers falling off the bridge, I thought were all tributes to The Walking Dead. Right, Villar? See, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I have to reserve judgment until I see it. I'm on board. I'm not going anywhere. They're not going backwards on the show. I think the writers did a pretty good job. I would have done it a little bit differently. So, fan reactions, once again, everybody. I want to know the audience a little bit. So I want to ask 2 questions. Well, we already asked one. And most of you said you would, if you were Laura, or if it were vice versa, you were John, you would stick around. So we know that probably, I just think they could have been more creative with the writing there. And what else could have happened with John to make him want to put down the guns? That would have been more creative writing. All right, I'm going to throw that over to all of you, and I want to see your thoughts and your comments. I'm going to read a few of them. So instead of John shooting a robber of a convenience store as an off-duty cop and looking to be a hero. What else could have happened? Mambo says, kill someone that's innocent. Shot a kid by accident. Well, that would have been Die Hard, Chris. Isn't that what the sergeant who was eating the Twinkies did? Dawn of the Fray. It says could have accidentally shot Tara. There you go. Well said. Maybe if John, well, hey, if you want to see like an ultimate plot twist, what if the kid that John shot was Laura's kid? That would have been, yeah, that's too bad. All right, anybody checking in midway through, I do want to remind everybody we are having a discussion. I can't say it. A discussion about fictional characters on Fear the Walking Dead. I want somebody to like click in and say, "Oh, 7 minutes into this, they were talking about shooting a person." No. I can't say it. It's tough, right, Emmy? You know, when you're away for 3 or 4 days, it's really tough to get back into it. No. I'm going to get a few more comments in here. Here's a question for the group. Why are walkers attracted to Jeeps? There's not a single walker in town at the convenience store. But boy, they move a Jeep in front of an open spot on the bridge, and there's like 50 of them come and move a Jeep. I'm picking it apart, I know. And here's why I'm picking it apart. This is your free pass, Fear the Walking Dead. You've done such a great job the first 4 episodes. Our viewers have given the show 9s, 9.5, 10s. And tonight, our viewers are still relatively high, and I'm cool with it. We got some 8.5s, we got some 9s, we got some 9.5s. I definitely came in a little bit lower with the reaction thing. But the Jeep scene and, all of them washing right up to John's house. And they can survive a fall. They can get washed downstream. They can get up and walk. But if you build a 2-foot ditch, evidently they fall in those things and bang their heads. But of all 5 episodes, I will say this is the weakest one so far. I'm not going to give it a super low score. I mean, if he had time to I'm just trying to think of a way he could have gotten them further downstream. I mean, he knows they're washing up, but he had time to dig a ditch. I would just like to see him, maybe find a way to, I guess he couldn't redirect the water. Yeah, it had some good love story stuff in it, good relationship building. Um, John fell pretty fast. I mean, he's looking for somebody. It's a good point. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's the generators drawing attention to him. So Matt Howard says, kills you may be lower, being a filler backstory. Very good. Deviates from the main story, the lower score, but it was well done. Yeah, that's why I had to give it 2 scores. I think it's just too early for me to tell. Even if John becomes, one of the main characters on the show in the next couple seasons, I don't know that I'm going to go back to this episode and say it's a 10. It's not going to blow me away. It could be necessary. Do you know how sometimes they try to make something too symbolic? Okay. I'm gonna throw this out for the group and just play along. Laura said she was leaving, I think at least like 7 times. Was all of that necessary, or could we had like a little bit more fighting? And I get it. Here's some. Let me tell you some things that I thought were very well done. I thought the runs to the convenience store on Tuesday was very important. And here's why. John is not the kind of person that's going to load everything up and take everything with him. Neither is Laura. So the fact that they left supplies there, they moved the supplies around for someone to easily get them, to me shows their honor. Trying to catch up on a couple comments here. Then we're basically telling 2 stories. One is a nurse that lost her child, and one is a cop who shot someone when he was off duty and was basically thought to be a hero. Store has not been looted. Nobody in this town. And that's where I'm starting to have a little bit of trouble after that. I know you guys are loving the writing, but where are all these people coming from? This looks like it's a town with like population 50. But it's like the whole population came together for that Jeep. That's the part that's going to bother me. I'm sorry. If you want the honest reaction, that is the honest reaction for tonight's episode. I'm willing to look the other way with some of it, though. Exactly. I agree with you, Drama. The whole town is gone. Nobody is there. I'm sorry. It's like I'm going to point out things that people aren't going to like. I know you guys, you wanted to be entertained, but I have to do this. Secondly, how did Laura get there? How did Laura get there, get stabbed, and shortly thereafter there's like 50 walkers washing up, but yet she washed up to shore, and none of those that were coming up got to her? What was her accident from? I mean, I guess my question is, we got a John backstory. We got a little bit of Laura's backstory, but we don't know how she was cut. We don't know what happened. We don't know how she ended up in the river, how she washed up on the river, like all of those things. Tanya Dockstader says she's looking for child Charlie. You know what? Maybe, maybe not. But every YouTuber tomorrow is going to be throwing that theory out there. Watch for it. I mean, I can see it. I can see it, that idea sort of taking shape. So once again, I'm going to ask this question. We get an hour-long episode where, all right, I'm just going to, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Hell with it. I'm just going to do it the only way I know how to do it, and that's not to hold back any punches. This is why I said it'll either be a 6 or an 8. So we get an hour-long episode. We run to convenience store. She says she's not leaving over and over again. He has time to teach her how to fish. They play Scrabble together. They do all these things. And you're telling me we can't even find out why she ended up in the river? How did you get there? See, that would have been my question. I would have said, hey, I'm going to make you this fish soup, but before I make it, how the hell did you get in that river? people are pulling their numbers back. Now that we discuss it, we're getting like lower numbers. The next thing, look, not only that, then they get in the canoe. They're canoeing right along, doing their thing, going upstream. And she says to him, so, what's your deal? What'd you do before all of this? And he's, I was a cop. I don't kill people. I'd have said, I was a cop. By the way, before we get started with me, how did you get in this river? It's got to come up, right? No time for that. In 1 hour. 1 hour of a filler episode, we can't even get that question answered. Yeah, and and the name thing. I mean, clearly, you know, she loved him and he loved her, but she could at least probably went back and said, "See, that's what I would have done." Now, if you really, really wanted to be cute with it, this is what the writers could have done. She wrote down Scrabble, "I love you too, I'm sorry." Naomi. That's what should have been added to the end. I'm sure there was enough letters. And she could have, you know what, she could have used the 2 blanks in there. She should have spelled out her real name at the end of it. Boom, that would have been epic. Or half her name with a couple blanks in there. Let him figure it out. Missed opportunity by the writers. If she would have done that, I would have given it an extra half a point. Either 6.5 or 8.5. That would have gotten me to an 8.5. I don't think Charlie's her kid either. But ask Ronnie tomorrow, and he'll definitely say it's her kid. At this point, no. No, E-Beach, they haven't even got to the stadium yet. All right, we're going to run a couple more minutes. I'm going to just leave it open right now. Anything that you guys want to talk about, any questions. I'm not going to go, I promised I wouldn't go scene by scene, but the more we started talking about it, the obvious coincidences, I'm perfectly cool with that because I think the writers are brilliant to do that. It gives us things to look for. But if you're going to be blatantly obvious, I guess, with the Easter eggs, then you still need to tie up some of the other things that should be tied up. Recycled storylines, that's fine. Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, a month. That's fine. A month, I'm not saying that they couldn't fall for each other in a month. But how about this? He had told her, he said, look, you want a place to stay, you stay here, I'll go. All right, that's fine. Or take my gun. Why not say, if you're Laura, look, John, things are a little complicated, but I like you. Just got something I got to go take care of. Probably take me a month to take care of it, but can I stop by sometime? Maybe have some more of that fish stew. How do you know in a world where there's less and less people, you don't know that they're going to move. I mean, it's not like you can pick up a phone and call these people. I mean, we're talking the backwoods here. Just, a little bit more. A little bit more information. Or there you go. John, I got some stuff. Wait, we're a pretty good team. We just smashed a lot of those walkers. Come help me beat up a few bad people because I have to go find this person. Alan Ramos wants to know thoughts on mid-season finale. It's too early. We're going to break that down in great detail. I'm expecting something big. Actually, I'm expecting some good stuff for next week, too. It's true, but one thing that I will say is your odds of surviving are much better when you have a partner. We're going to find out. We'll find out in the next 3 episodes. Young Ebe says next season we'll still be asking, is Madison dead? How long are these flashbacks going for? I think the story will be over with that by the mid-season finale. All right, we're running up on 40 minutes, so we're going to wind this thing down. Just once again, before we do shout-outs, I'm going to ask the group. So we've given reactions. We've talked about it a little bit more. So if you have a chance to cast one more vote, E-Beat says, I still say it was a 10. I don't see it as a 10. I don't see it as a perfect episode. There's so much more that I would have liked to have seen with it. I'm not going to say it's bad. I'm not saying, it's down in the low numbers. I'm just saying I thought it had some opportunity. So one more time. Re-rate it. Let's see if anybody changed their number. Anybody went higher, anybody went lower, anybody stayed the same. Solid 7. Still a 9, 8. I'm okay. I'm okay with it. The boots. The boots have to be worth something. All right, reading a few. Your numbers are a permanent part of history, so anybody watching a playback will see exactly where they stand. If you guys get a chance, do me a favor, slap the like button just so this video gets a little bit more attention. Share it with some people, and then ask people to leave your thoughts and comments below, because those comments really create a lot of good dialogue, a lot of good debate. Just in closing, as I said, hey, we're not going anywhere. I love Fear the Walking Dead this season. I think it's absolutely amazing. I would say this is equivalent to, for me, an Oceanside episode. When they did the Oceanside episode on The Walking Dead, I didn't think it was the best episode. It didn't change my mind of The Walking Dead, but of all the episodes they've done. So one last question I'm going to ask the group. True or false? There are 5 episodes so far of Fear the Walking Dead. True, this is the worst episode so far. False, there was another one that was worse. And if there was, pick which one it is. And then we'll close on that. So I want to know if, just want to know what your thoughts are. For me, this is the one that had the biggest opportunity. But I do think they're going to come back very, very strong next week. So a lot of people coming in saying true. But if you say false, which episode was the weakest? So Dawn of the Frank, Tanya Dockstader, Beth Burgett, which episodes were worse than this one in your mind? Just curious. Because I had the first 4 absolutely amazing. E-Beat says didn't like the premiere. I love the premiere. I thought the premiere was definitely a good story with... Well, you know what? That's good. I mean, E-Beach and Beth are both saying that it's scaling up, so it's getting better as it goes. All right, just catching up, reading a few comments. All right, everybody, we got pretty good pulse. We got everybody's opinion in here. If you guys could join us tomorrow night, we will do our complete recap. We're going to have a lot more in-detail analysis. I know first reactions are always, you're sort of playing it back in your head, remembering little bits and pieces, but you've got less than 24 hours. Do a little bit of your homework. We will talk about this episode a little bit more at length, and also what we're going to do is talk about how this episode could tie in to future episodes. I want to thank everybody for being here. Glad to be back. Great audience. We always, we're going to disagree. We have those moments where we agree to have different opinions. That's what makes 999 Army so strong. You guys all do me a favor. Give me a quick 999 in chat right now. If you're watching the playback, this is the closing credits. You're still here. I want to give a shout out to as many of the 999 Army as possible. Make sure you guys slap that like button on the way out the Dizzo. So who we got here? Thank you so much. And shout out time. Hippo in the house. Matthew Howard. Liz Burnett. Beth Burgett, AJ Jepson, Cammie, Allen, Chook, Dawn of the Frank, Kel says smile, all my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Kel, Tommy, Eric C., E. Beach, 72, Fluff, Walani, Graylin, thanks for being here, Chris Rainick. Thank you so much, Tanya Dockstader. Appreciate you being here. Drama King, New York City. We'll talk tomorrow. Gina Crockett, thank you. Glad to be back. Mambo 55. A couple more minutes here for some shout-outs. Valar, thank you for being here. Pleasure as always. So looking forward to getting your knowledge with the Thrones Thursday. Bumblebee Brown, thanks for being here. Jimmy's jamming. Coming in with a 7.5. What's up, Jimmy? I'm writing it down. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, too. I'm putting a 6 and an 8, and then we'll see if we can add a little bit to it. That's initial reactions. Let me think about it a little bit more. D-Love, thanks for being here. All right, I think a couple people might be lagging. If I missed you in a shout-out, I'll catch you on the next one. I'll see everybody tomorrow night at 9:30 for Fear the Walking Dead. complete episode 5 recap. Talk to you tomorrow. Peace.